Let's see how kind this audience is after this first time. Because making morning news today, U.S. President Joe Biden, who has just pardoned his son, Hunter. I don't know if you heard this. Oh, not so kind anymore, are ya?
That was fast.
Well, anyway, despite repeatedly saying that he would not use his presidential powers in that way, well, he did it anyway. So Hunter Biden, I don't know if you all recall, he did plead guilty to tax charges and was convicted of illegally possessing a gun, that is, and he was facing possible prison time, of course, under Trump's administration. So the question is, should Trump have pardoned his own son, especially...
Biden.
I'm sorry. We know that. Because you know he's going to do that. You know that Trump's going to do that. Should Biden have pardoned his own son, especially after repeatedly saying he wouldn't? Jess.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
Well, I have to say, I'm disappointed that he did. And I'll try to explain why. One of his lines that he told the country was, I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision. And I completely understand why a father would, but I'm disappointed that a president would, because he needs to rise above that. Like we already said, he told us repeatedly that he would trust the outcome, and by not accepting the outcome or respecting the process, he puts himself on the same level as Donald Trump.
Well, here's the deal. How's that saying go? Blood is thicker than the U.S. Department. Isn't that how it goes? Listen, I think this is going to the Republican Party and Donald Trump and Fox News are going to have a field day with this for the next 2 years or however long they want to draw this out. But let's be 100% real. If the tables were turned and it was Donald Trump who had an opportunity to clear the charges for one of his sons, what do we think would happen, audience? He would do it. And I'll tell you something. During his first term as president, he actually cleared a lot of people of their charges. Some were convicted, some were charged, and there was almost 250 people, and he wasn't blood related to any of those people.
But some of them do you want a leader of the free world to be that fickle, to put his family before the country?
I wonder if
it's just more than that.
If he also, a part of him, the human part of Joe Biden was like, I've been following all the rules. I've been doing everything by the book. This guy has been doing nothing by the book. So why am I trying to play by the same rules?
Give him a little taste of their own medicine.
You guys were talking about like an eye for an eye. Don't you want a president that's going to rise above?
I hear you, but I get it. I think this is
Yeah, we got one person.
This is the era of false equivalencies, and I think that we need to take a look at this. So Hunter Biden, you mentioned what the charges were. You have to look at this in context. This is a guy who lost his mother, lost his sister, in a horrific car crash as a child, then lost his brother more recently. He's been an open addict. He's had a lot of struggles.
Oh, you're talking about Hunter.
I'm talking about Hunter Biden.
Okay,
And so he's gone through a lot in his life. He has acknowledged that he's had a difficult time, so he's trying to make good and become a better person. He's a dad himself. So I think that Joe Biden was just like, this is my son. I'm in the end of my life. This is a man who I believe in, who has good intentions. This is not a story of, as you mentioned, Paul Manafort, who Trump pardoned, who was convicted of bank and tax fraud in addition to other crimes. Charles Kushner, Jared Kushner's dad.
Billionaire. A lot of horrible things.
I haven't said anything yet. But here's the thing. First of all, you don't give... I know it's a president, and ethically and morally he's supposed to rise above, but... This is a legal move. He wouldn't be doing this if this wasn't a power that every single president has the power to do. How they choose to wield it is maybe more of the debate which we're having here, but it is legal and it's legal. The other part of this that we didn't read in the statement to why Hunter did this, or why Joe did this for Hunter, is when he took a look at the evidence, trying to compare a Hunter Biden pardon to a January 6th insurrectionist who killed people, destroyed property.
And he's calling them now hostages.
Sure. But my point is, to your point of false equivalencies, a president who decides to pardon, that's a big move. But what kind of crime are you pardoning? If you're pardoning an insurrectionist, I'm going to have a problem with that. If you are pardoning somebody who less than 1% of people who ever get charged with the crime that Hunter was convicted of ever do any time. This was a nonviolent crime. He misfilled out forms for owning a gun. We know that he is troubled. But if you look in the rest of the population, whether you're the president's son or not, people never get charged with this crime.
That is true.
So do it.
Thank you.
Let's do it.
I agree.
Yes.
It is like comparing apples and oranges. And if I were president, I would do this in a heartbeat. Or rather, if I were a parent, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Sure.
I want a president to be better than me. I want him to look and not. And he's showing a little bit of hypocrisy here because Biden, part of his political messaging has been tighter tax restrictions, tighter gun laws, and his son broke them both. And now he's forgiving. The whole thing just, it doesn't sit well with me. I want him to be better.
Okay, interesting.
We like all of our politicians to do better.
Yeah, interesting.
Anyway, hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.